I'm going to show you a modality of exercise called suspension training. Some people call it TRX, but ultimately suspension training. It's for anyone from beginners to even the most advanced lifters. You can have progressions to this that make it extremely difficult, but you can also be very easy. I'll show you how the equipment works. This particular set here is called the Jungle Gym by Lifetime. There's lots of different varieties out. So this one's just looped over the bar right here, but it has these red plates on here that allow you to slip them over a doorway and just be done from the back of a room in your house, which is great. So this is super versatile. It even has an attachment that comes with it, so you can throw it over a tree if you want to exercise in the park. This red clasp here is just to keep your slack out of the way. You can have it on there or not. You can have it hang. This guy here, this red lever, releases the suspension, so that way you can move it down and you can pull it to move it back up. This handle here is the hand grip, and this is the foot grip, which I'll show you exercises that are utilize both of those. What makes suspension training a little different is that it's easy to change the difficulty. So just by changing your focal point, where your feet or your hands are located, can make it much more difficult or it can make it much easier. You have to stabilize through the whole exercise, so it's going to really help work the assisters and the joints that you're using. And basically every exercise you can do on this is going to be a core exercise. You're going to work this through your core, so you have to have a strong core and stabilize in order to continue further in the progression. So if you're doing a push-up on this, you can't progress to the next level if your core can't handle it. So this is great just to get your core engaged and just get a great overall workout. Another thing that's handy with this is that if you're working with a partner that maybe doesn't have the same, workout partner doesn't have the same level of strength as you do, maybe they're stronger, maybe they're not as strong, you don't have to put plates on and off all the time off of a weight bar. You can just change the angle at which you're working in order to make the exercise easier or more difficult. So I'm going to show you a few exercises and some of the progressions for it. Since we have the straps up here, this right here I'm going to use both, so you can do this in the bilateral exercises like I'm going to show you right now. There's lots of unilateral exercises you can do, single joint, multi-joint. So this is going to be a pull-up, and so let's say, for example, you're not quite able to do pull-ups on your own. So the great thing about this is you can get into a squat position underneath it. You're going to pull up as if you're doing a pull-up, pinching your shoulder blades together, keeping your neck in a neutral position, and essentially do a pull-up motion, and you're going to be able to assist a little bit with your legs. You want to do as much with your arms and your shoulders as possible, but you can assist with your legs. If you find that that's too easy, you can do a standard pull-up with these, which is going to be more difficult because it's not stable. And so it's just a great exercise. You can actually come up and move laterally, move horizontally. It's just a great opportunity to use your imagination. Next thing I'll show you that's going to work your back too is going to be a row. And so from the row, you're going to still use the hand grips here. You're going to have your body at an angle. And so for someone to make this easier, you walk yourself out, you'll pull yourself up, pinch between those shoulder blades as though you're trying to grab a pencil between them. Body straight, core is tight, and this is an easier exercise, or an easier progression. If you want to make the row more difficult, you move your feet closer toward the pendulum point or even past it. So you're almost doing a horizontal pull. And that's one of the progressions you can do on that. Next thing I'm going to show you are some push-ups. So you can start out with, say, a 60-degree push-up, which you're going to have your body straight, you're going to have your arms out in front of you, and you're just going to lower yourself down in a push-up. If you find yourself when you're doing this, you're real shaky like this, that means that it might be a little more difficult for you than it should be. So you just move out away from the pendulum. Makes it easier. If you want to make it more difficult, I might even actually lower these down a little bit more for this. You're going to do a 90-degree push-up. Just like that. Another great chest exercise you can do from this same point is going to be a fly, where you're going to start with your arms locked down and you're just going to spread them out as though you're doing a fly. So you're going to spread them out, drop your body in, pull it back. And again, if that's too difficult, you just walk up a little bit. Makes it easier. So, a couple other great arm exercises you can do on this. We can do a bicep curl. So I can leave this at this length if I want to, or if I want to move closer to this pendulum point, I can draw them back up. And from here, you want to try to isolate the movement in your elbow, and which is what's going to make this different from those rows we were doing earlier. So instead of pulling using your shoulders primarily, you can do pronated or supinated grip, and you're just going to lift your body up using those bicep muscles. Another great variation you can do is working the triceps. You want to make sure that, again, you're focusing on that elbow joint and not pushing through your shoulders. And again, keep your torso straight. Elbows in. Keep your hands spread apart like this. If you put them together and lock them together, it makes it easy and takes some of that instability out, which you want to keep in there to make sure that we're working your muscles appropriately. So if that's a little too easy, you move back. So great arm exercise. I was doing these the other day and made my triceps really sore. Alright, the foot up lunge. This is one of my favorites. So, similar to a standard lunge, except for your back foot is up, it's going to be inside this cradle right here. So when you put this in, you're going to have your foot inside. Just like this, the handle's going to be across the arch underneath your foot. So when you're doing the foot up lunge on this, again, you want to make sure your knee's not passing out past your toe. You're just going to track with your big toe there. And the great thing about this is you can move your leg back as you do it. Natural arch in your back. And it has that element of instability because this foot isn't on the ground. If you want to progress this exercise, make it more difficult, you can do the foot up lunge jump. So when you come down in this lunge position, then you jump up. So that's the foot up lunge. Another great one that you can do on this, work your legs, is the pistol, which is basically a one-legged squat. And the great thing about this is that in doing a one-legged squat, most of the time you don't have enough balance to be able to do it. So this can assist you slightly. So you come down, straight out. You can do it with, I'm using one grip. You can use two if you prefer. I'm going to have my left leg out straight, and you're going to be able to squat into the pistol. You can do this actually as a jump to progress it if you want. Next one I'm going to show you is going to be leg curl. These are great for working those hamstrings. So you're going to start down on the floor. You're going to put your heel in the foot strap. And again, if you move this way, it's going to be easier. If you move back this way, it's going to be harder. So you're going to lay flat on your back, triceps, or the back of your arms here, they're going to be down. And you're going to make a bridge. You can make a 3-inch bridge, you can make a 5-inch bridge. 5-inch bridge makes this harder. and tight through your core, head back, you're pulling your legs controlled. You're not swinging all over the place, nice and controlled. Bringing them back in. If you want to modify this further, you can do runners, where you're doing the op. And you want to make sure that you can do it nice and slow and controlled before you try to do it fast, to make sure that you're controlling that motion. Next thing I'll show you is going to be reverse crunch. And I'll even show you a modification that you can use with, you have another piece of equipment, a Bosu ball like this. So you're going to start again by putting your feet through the straps. I'll show you the first without the Bosu ball. But you're going to get in that push-up position, nice tight through your core. You're going to bring your knees up to your chest, do the reverse crunch, nice and slow and controlled. Or you can do what's called an atomic push-up, when you come down and then bring your legs up. So you can bring them to the sides to target more of your obliques. If you find that's too easy, you got the Bosu ball here, which adds instability not only from your feet here with the straps, but also on your hands now. So, same deal. Atomic push-up. Or you can just do leg crunch. You work the obliques. So, a lot of different variations that you can do with this suspension training straps. I'll show you one more that will work your shoulders. I mean, you can do a multitude of things, but you can lean back, arms straight out in front of you. You're going to pull up and bring your whole body up. Make sure you're keeping your body in line and you're not rounding out. But this is a great one for your shoulders. You can also do a reverse fly where you're spreading it out horizontally. So there's a lot of exercises that you can do with suspension training with just this very small, inexpensive piece of equipment. So if you haven't given it a try, I highly recommend it.